Welcome. My name is Dr. Jennifer Campbell, and I am the elementary general music instruction lead for the CMA Foundation Unified Voices for Music Education initiative. Today, I'm really excited to walk you through a quick lesson that I pulled together that you might want to use for your first day or your first week or your first 2 weeks of music, depending on your instructional landscape as we move forward. I'm showing this to you on a virtual platform, and I know some of you are going back to school live, but this lesson takes that into account also. So let's jump in and let's get started with elementary music in 2020. So in today's lesson, I show a nice little agenda over here. We're going to do these three things. We're going to introduce ourselves, and that's kind of the main activity of this lesson. During that main activity, we'll have the opportunity in a couple of different ways to review known rhythms. And then a really important feature I think we are all thinking about is discussing safety in our music classroom. I know something else that we're all thinking about is those of us who our students are new to us, or I think sometimes, especially those students who are returning to us. We had them in March and April and May of last year. They are on our hearts and we are so excited, but we know that they probably have some feelings they want to share with us. And we want to hear those voices and those feelings. And that's going to come up in this lesson too. In this lesson, we have some I can statements. Some of you use those, some of you don't use those. I just wanted to put those out there. In the presenter notes of this slideshow lesson plan, you will see that I have set this to be second grade music standards. And I did that because, of course, you can make this harder for individual students. You could make it a little bit easier, but I think that is what's going to be great. So here's our activity. Just nice and simple heartbeats and a nice little rap or spoken word chant to get us started. Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer. Now, that works for us, but you might also want to be sharing your teacher name. And some of you might prefer to show your text in the heart instead of below the heart, just depending on your choice and how you teach your students. So we could do this again. Ready, set, and here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Campbell. Okay, the next thing we would want to do is we would ask our students, all right, everybody, you're going to all say this with me together, but when we get to the name part, will you please say your name in those two heartbeats? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. Ready, set, and here we go, right? Okay, so the next step that we would want to do is have them say it by themselves without the teacher. Okay, and then depending on your students and the grade level selected, you might have them decode it into ta or tt or takadimi or whatever rhythm syllable system you use with your students. All right, so here is our next part of the chant that we're learning today. There's a little bit of feelingfulness in there. I am feeling super pumped. I can't wait to play the drums. This could be anything. Okay, but same process, we would ask our students to say this with the teacher, listen to the teacher say it. We would have them say it without the teacher. And then we get to go into a little creation opportunity. Okay, so you might ask your students to do all 16 beats of this, both slides, by themselves. You might give them freedom over this slide to write whatever they would like to write. They could stick with the beginning of the phrase, I am feeling, and share something about their feeling. And then you could have them share something that they can't wait to do, or you could let that part of it be you make up your own sentence. You have 4 heartbeats to get that done. You might change the meter for a higher grade level. I know if this was for my 6th grade students, we'd do something like, I am excited to be at school. I'm feeling so great to see you all. And we would put that in 6/8 meter. So just depending on your students and how things are going, you could make this fit your situation. I give you a slide that's blank, so you could pass this out using a Google slide and have them annotate over. I know that's something that a lot of you do through your Google Classrooms and your Google Meets. Or old-fashioned way, if you are in a distance classroom and the students can't leave their seat, you can have them take out a piece of paper. You can have them fold that piece of paper hot dog. You can have them fold that piece of paper hamburger, and then hamburger again. And then when they open that up, they will have 8 spots. They have 2 sides to their piece of paper, so they can have 16 beats in just one piece of paper. You might give them time to write this on their own, to ask for help decoding this. Even if they're distance away from each other, they could still read it for a friend or have a friend read theirs to them to check on that. There are so many things that you could do with this activity to get started with 0 materials, checking back in on what rhythms have been retained. I know this is 2nd grade that I picked for this rhythm, but I only used ta and titi in these first 2 slides, right? And that was very much a conscious choice that I made because I know a lot of us feel like as much attrition as they usually have over the summer, gosh golly, they're going to have even more attrition over this whole situation. We don't know where students are going to be. So when we get to this point and we're sharing our own, right before you send them off to create and refine their compositions, you might have them review all the rhythms they can think of. That might be that you have some rhythm patterns written on the board or somewhere else that you've made some extra slides with some other rhythm patterns, or you just ask your students, what rhythms do you remember from last year, you guys? And so that can be a really great way to make sure that you've kind of done a really good rhythm review, collected some data for yourself on day 1. And last but not least, we all need to talk about safety. And I know that all of our students are curious about how this year is going to look and what we're going to be doing this year. So I just put this quick little slide together, mostly for you as music educators, but you could absolutely tweak this and share it out with your students. So singing and music this year, saying, I'll meet you outside. We're going to wear our masks and we're going to be 6 feet apart. And after 30 minutes, we're going to leave that area that we were singing in outside so that the air has a chance to disperse and remove those aerosolized particles from the air. Recorders, masking our bells, having a special mask so that our students can be using their recorder, putting their recorder to their embouchure with a slit in their mask. Is something we need to do, and I've leaved you some links. It should look sort of like the bagged clarinets. So both a mask for the recorder, maybe just on the bell, or if you're really vigilant, a nice bag over the body of the recorder that allows for fingers to come in. Also considering a special mask that has a slit in it for your students. Inside music, we're going to play pitched and unpitched percussion this year. You remind me about what instruments we own. A really great way to grab some feedback. If your students are at home and you're online for the beginning of the school year, what instruments do they have in their house? Did you send some kits home? I know kits are something a lot of us are thinking about this school year. And I think with that said, that's about everything I have to share with you all today. Thank you so much for joining me during this video. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me personally. You can visit the Unified Voices for Music Education website. And also, if you'd like access to the COVID study that I know we're all paying attention to, but if you haven't found that yet, there's a link to that study, and the findings are being shared out. Be really careful, realize these are preliminary results and they aren't, they haven't been peer reviewed yet, but this way at least we have access to information, because we're all, school might have already started for you day one, but it's definitely coming up here in a quick minute. So thanks for being here. Great to see you all. Stay aware and stay cautious and be well. Bye.